Alright, dude. Hello and welcome to Bunry Caravan and Motorhome Club site on the bonny banks of Loch Linney. First of all, apologies for the sound quality on this video. I've come away without my microphone and I'm trying to do this now with my small camera, and I don't think the sound's going to be great, so apologies for the sound on this video. What I want to talk to you today is about the big news. Now, forget Brexit, forget Trump. The big news is that Airstream finally has once again found a distributor in the UK, and that is through Swift Caravans, the largest caravan and RV manufacturer in the UK. What I want to talk to you about is the implications that has for Airstream in the UK, what implications that has for our friends over in the United States, both Airstreamers and RVers, and also to tell those of you in the United States a little bit of background about who Swift are and about what benefits this is also going to have for caravanning, both caravanners and for the industry here in the UK. So first of all, start off with a bit of background, and that is in 2006 a small company set up Airstream Europe with the sole objective of bringing Airstream into Europe. Now, the reason that a separate company had to be set up and separate Airstreams had to be built was basically because over here we caravan very differently to over in the United States. The main problem we had at the time was that to legally tow a caravan with a regular car, the caravan could only be 7'6" wide, which meant that all US Airstreams, maybe with the exception of one or two sport models, were too wide to be towed by a regular car on the UK roads. That law has now since changed to 8 foot wide, but at the time it was 7'6" wide, and even at 8 foot wide many of the US models are still not suitable for UK roads. Another reason that we needed our own Airstreams is because of the nose weight, or called the tongue weight in the United States, whereas over here most caravans have a nose weight or a tongue weight of about 220 pounds, 100 kilos. Again, United States caravans are much heavier than that on the nose, so we needed that. The appliances, they needed to be sourced from Europe so that if anything went wrong with your fridge or with your cooker, you could get it easily fixed or replaced. And of course over here our electricity is 220 or 240 volts, whereas in the United States it's 110 volts. And finally, our caravan sites, our RV pitches, are a little bit different in as much as we don't generally have serviced pitches with water coming in, waste going out and black going out. There is the black tank disposal is just non-existent over here really. Over here we use cassettes in our toilets and we take the cassette to a separate emptying point. So again, the water and waste arrangements over here are much different to those in the United States, which meant that for Airstream to be taken as a credible alternative to other caravans, they needed their own European spec. That happened in 2006 with the first models coming out roughly 2007. So the way they were constructed back then was that the chassis, which is German, and the wiring, which was British, would be shipped over to Jackson Centre in the United States, where they would be assembled with the body at the Airstream factory in Jackson Centre. That would all then come back empty to the United Kingdom, where it would be fitted out with central heating from Sweden, furniture from Germany, and appliances from the United Kingdom and the Netherlands. And then that would then be distributed throughout Europe from the United Kingdom. Now, as well as these Airstreams did, unfortunately their volume was not sufficient for the company in the United Kingdom, Airstream Europe, to keep going with Airstream alone. They had to take on other brands, and the decision was made 2013, 2014 that all the production would take place in Jackson Centre in the United States, and that Airstream Europe would then relocate to Germany to Rollkelwerk, which is a very well established, very well respected Airstream dealer in Germany. And what was Airstream Europe in the United Kingdom became Airstream and Company. So they sold other brands like Tab and Ariba, Holt Camper, trailer tents, other cool campers. This continued for a couple more years, and then finally last year, 2016, Airstream and Co in the United Kingdom decided that with the vagaries of the exchange rate and the uncertain political state in the United Kingdom with Brexit and so on, they decided to stop selling new Airstreams. Now they still sell used Airstreams, they still service Airstreams, but they decided to stop selling new Airstreams, which for us in the UK was very sad, but completely understand why they took that decision, which has left us without a UK distributor for almost a year. Enter the Swift Group. They are the largest producer of caravans, motorhomes in the UK, and they make everything: caravans, motorhomes, campervans, and the large holiday homes. They employ over 1,000 employees, and they export all over Europe, and they export to some very exotic countries too, like South Korea. They export to Australia, to New Zealand, Israel, Sri Lanka. So they are pretty popular, widespread, a large company. And they also have many different brands. They recently acquired Auto Cruise, a motor caravan manufacturer. They took on Abbey back in the day, Ace, Sprite, Eccles, which was all encompassed by the Sprite Leisure at the time. And that's really interesting because Swift represents Sprite in the UK, which is probably the most famous caravan brand that there is. It's been going for years and years, and it was introduced in the UK by a real pioneer, a man by the name of Sam Alper. And what I find really interesting is that Sam Alper used to take his Sprite caravan on all these bonkers expeditions to prove how roadworthy his caravans were, a little bit like our friend Wally Byam. Now, Wally Byam, the Airstream adventurer, he used to take the Airstreamers with him, and they'd have these wild and wacky caravans all around the world. Whereas Sam Alper was more, he would take the caravan with the team and they'd do bonkers things like go over the Alps and all this sort of thing. But I find it really interesting that the company that has Sprite is now going to distribute Airstream, and I just think that Sprite in the UK, Airstream in the US, Sam Alper, Wally Byam, I just think is a great match. It's a really happy match for me. Back to Swift. So they are huge, and what I understand, I could get this wrong, is that they are going to distribute Airstreams to, I think, through their top premium dealers. So what this means for us in the UK is, for Airstreamers, it's great because we're going to have a wider choice of places to go for sales and servicing. People will once again be able to buy brand new European spec Airstreams without the need to go to Germany and buy them in euros and then do the whole conversion thing. And where this is great for the industry in the UK is that you're going to have these beautiful silver bullets rather than just in one place. They're now going to be distributed across the country. They're going to be on dealers' forecourts where people can see them from the road, and people who may have never thought about caravanning, may have never thought about getting an RV, motor caravan, will see these beautiful silver bullets. See, the weather's being very Scottish at the moment. They'll see these beautiful silver bullets, they'll go in, and they might not buy one, but it will bring them into the dealers, and they might end up buying a Sprite, they might end up buying an Auto Cruise motorhome, they might end up buying an Airstream. You just don't know. But the thing is, it's going to bring people into the caravan and motorhome industry, and that can only be a good thing. It'd be a good thing for all of us. Why is this good for Airstreamers in the United States and across the world? Why is this good for the RV industry in the United States? Well, I'll tell you why. You may have noticed that the 2017 Airstream Classic has Alder central heating. You have this gentle warmth, and it stays at a consistent temperature without these constant fluctuations. Now, Airstream in the United States has taken on this technology from Europe and is now using it in the Classic. I can see that getting bigger. Swift has pioneered the wood-free floor in the United Kingdom. Now, the only part of an Airstream that's exposed to the elements that is wood is the floor. Many people who renovate old Airstreams, because Airstreams last forever, but the floor doesn't. So when you get people renovating Airstreams from the 50s, 60s, 70s, quite often they either have to replace the floor or they have to repair the floor. Now, I'm not saying this is going to happen, but if Thor Industries can adopt Swift's wood-free floor technology, you will end up, and this is pure theory, pure speculation on my part, but you would end up with the first ever 100% wood-free Airstream. They've never had wood in the construction of the bodies, but then they would have no wood in the floor. And I've seen these floors being made by the Swift factory, and they are so advanced that they've even been tested and manufactured to incorporate exactly the same flexing as a wood floor, so that it will still absorb a lot of the lumps and bumps on the road and it won't stress the body or the furniture of the caravan too much. So everything's been really well thought of. They've been using these wood-free floors in their premium ranges over here for a couple of years now. I can't get over how phenomenal this move is for everybody. It could be the beginning of something absolutely huge, both for us over here in the United Kingdom and for people over in the United States. So there you go. That's my thoughts on the announcement that Swift Caravans will be taking over the distribution of Airstream in the United Kingdom. I could be talking a load of rubbish. I don't have any inside information. This is just my pure speculation, but I think it's a fantastic thing, both for all of us here in the United Kingdom and for RVers over in the United States. We'll see what happens. We'll see how the arrangement works, and we'll see if any of the technologies do cross the pond in either direction. It's a really exciting time, and I am really happy that Airstream are once again back in the UK. That's all from this week. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, you know what to do. Please give us a thumbs up, and if you didn't, please tell us why. If you have any comments, please leave them in the box below. So it just leaves me to say, from very changeable Bunree, and from Dougal, and from me, thanks for tuning in. Dougal, you can't contain his excitement.